It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. So it looked like Shedeur Sanders has shut down the internet. This time it's involving young kids as he makes his rounds to a youth camp hosted by the Cleveland Browns. Now we know Shedeur Sanders is a few weeks out from this battle regarding the starting quarterback spot for the Cleveland Browns, man, who'll be going up against Deshaun Watson. Now, there has been no new updates besides them working out together last week. Shedeur did drop a new single, shut down the XBs, and he's been working extremely hard down in Florida and Texas. But as we get closer to the season, I want to let y'all know the Browns still got to get rid of one of these quarterbacks. It's either going to be Dylan or Shedeur. I just want to keep telling y'all that so y'all don't be surprised when somebody leave. And I don't know if Shedeur is going to win out this starting position. I don't know. To me, I think he should have just been handed it. That's just my personal opinion. He did his job. He won out the season, finished out the last 2 games, looked it great. And to me, he need a better chance in a position, will be put in a better position to start the season. And the Browns should name him the starter. Hands down. Todd Monken praised him. Everybody that was there at OTAs praised him. I don't know. I don't know why we don't going through this. We don't see other quarterbacks, Cam Ward, going through this. I really think they're doing this because they drafted him in the 5th round. That's just my personal opinion. But let's dive into the content. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the tribe. Like the video, hype the video. Let's pull up what Shedeur got going today. So Shedeur Sanders put up to this event, and let's run.
The center field. Groups 11 and 12. The center field 11 and 12. Campers in groups 11 and 12.
Now there is more footage. I think Mary Kay dropped some stuff on this.
Groups 11 and 12. The center field 11 and 12. Campers in groups.
So yeah, Shedeur Sanders is making his rounds now. Just like I stated, there is an update on his current situation a little bit. 92 The Fan spoke about it, I believe, earlier today. And that's what we're going to pull up right now. Blow this up real quick, and let's check it out.
But people looking at his 60 years old as like he's 1 foot out the grave. And I think that is totally unfair. Just because he had to wait a little bit longer to get his opportunity doesn't mean that his opportunity is not going to be well worth it. And I think that he's had the opportunity to gather a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge and have a lot of success in a lot of different roles and a lot of different places before he arrived to where he's at now. And if you look at how he's put this staff together, he hired a lot of coaches, in my opinion, that are people who can develop football players, but he trusts to delegate and let them handle their business and not be in their mix so that he can do what he does well on offense. And whether you're a rookie head coach, a seasoned head coach, you're only as good as the people that you have around you. Case in point, Kevin Stefanski looked totally different when Bill Callahan was no longer here as an assistant coach on this football team. And so when you hear Cecil, a guy who's played for Todd Monken, a guy who's played in the NFL, and talk about players believing in him, willing to run through a brick wall, when you give a guy something to believe in and you got the resume that he does, you should be overly excited that this team can have success.
What Cecil laid out to me was the description of a guy who has what it takes to be successful in this role. And the obvious reasons why that's going to be the case or should be the case. But that now it just comes down to Monken, like, executing that, right? Because there is a learning curve. I think it'd be naive not to think, because we've seen it too many times where a guy's a really good coordinator and just not a good head coach, that it doesn't necessarily work out for everybody. So there is a world where it doesn't for Monken as well. And then maybe we are talking about them hiring a new head coach next offseason. I don't think that's going to happen, but maybe that's how it plays out. But all the things that Cecil mentions just like reaffirms why I think Todd Monken's the perfect fit for this team right now. They're young, they're looking for a culture to be built, and I do think Kevin Stefanski, I understand on the way out the door why there was a lot of reasons to criticize what had kind of happened here and everything that had transpired. But I do think Kevin was on the right track, or at least did build somewhat of a culture here during his time here, or else I don't think 2023 happens if you don't have a good culture. Like, I don't think you make the playoffs that season with all the turnover at quarterback and all that if you don't have a good culture in place and the right players to kind of help necessitate that culture and bring it along. So I think Kevin had started the early stages of building a culture here, but now most of those players are gone, and so it's kind of this new era and this new culture that has to be built. And I think Monken is going to be even better at doing something like that than Kevin was, and be able to sort of get this thing going in the right direction with a young group. The fact that he is that, the people want authenticity in their coaches, they want authenticity in their bosses, they want authenticity in their leaders and in their life. The fact that he is totally authentic and tells it like it is, that seems like something that a lot of the players are saying they like as a quality in him. Like, he just feels like the right fit, and I think all the things that Cecil laid out are reasons why the idea of Todd Monken being a one-and-done head coach just doesn't really sit well with me, because I don't see it that way. I think he's going to have some time to actually build something here, both from a X's and O's offense standpoint, where this group needs to grow and take a lot of steps from last year and find their quarterback and all those questions, but also from just a standpoint of coaching a motivated football team that wants to win football games. So I'm more excited than I was before that interview about what he brings to the table, and we got to see it in action first. But I think anybody who at this stage is doubting Monken's ability to do this thing just because it's the Browns and he's a first-time head coach and he's older, I don't know that they're like seeing the forest of the trees on this one. It makes a lot of sense why the Browns opted for him, and I think there's reasons to believe that it could be successful. I don't know that's going to be a bunch of wins in year one, but I do think they're going to see the success if he's given the right amount of time over time.
Well, he did say, that he believed that there will be an opportunity to compete for this team, and that a 7 to 8 win season for the Browns is realistic. And to me, I think it's realistic as well. And I know some people don't really want to touch that, or doesn't look at it like the wins should be the focal point. But you got to keep in mind that what both Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam said in January of this calendar year, that they felt like they still had a good enough roster to where they could have won more games than what they did. And I think if winning was not the top priority, they would have went with a young guy like a Udinski or a Shieldhouse. But they went with an experienced guy in Todd Monken, granted first-year head coach, but a lot of football experience. And they felt like that was the perfect mesh with this young roster that has a lot of talent. And I don't personally see 8 wins being far-fetched. And if you notice, Spencer, every single time I've said this.
Here's my debate with Earl the Pearl. Who do you see getting the 8 wins? Do you see Deshaun getting the 8 wins, or do you see Shedeur getting the 8 wins? Let's finish listening.
I never once said the Browns was going to the playoffs. I never once said that the Browns was going to win the division.
Right.
I've never said anything outside of I believe the Browns can win 3 more games than what they did last year. And if you got better coaches, which Cecil said and I've been saying.
And this is what I be telling y'all, man. I like Earl the Pearl, but you got to be real specific, bro. Like, they him haul around. Do you see Shedeur winning those 8 games or Deshaun Watson? That's all I want to know. But get down in the comment section. Till next time, man, shake the haters off. Keep your eyes open, man. Peace out.